Hello YouTubers, and welcome to my review of the 15th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver Deluxe Edition. Now this one is going back to character because, if I don't know if you can just see that if it catches the light, there are two scratches on it. Yes, two scratches on that on the Sonic Screwdriver, which I've rang character up and basically they're going to send me an email and this is going to get posted back to them. So yeah, there could be some issues where people's are scratched in the post, but we'll see. But anyway, taking a look at the Sonic Screwdriver itself, it is really well detailed and that. I'm not a big fan of the design as a Sonic Screwdriver, if it was like a scanner or something else, but as a toy, it is really nice. It's got a really nice sort of metallic-y type finish and that to it. It's not quite the chrome that we had, say, on the 14th Doctor Online exclusive. It's still a very, shiny, almost chrome silver finish, and as well as the blue and that having a sort of almost metallic-y type sheen to it. We can see here, stuff like the crystal is basically constantly on, and that when it's being held. I imagine there's some sort of sensors or something in there, but a lot of the time when it's being held, or maybe if it detects movement, it lights up for a while after being pressed. But you can just see that detailed in there quite nicely. We've got all the grills and that and lights and everything and that on the back, and yes, this does rotate. Now it can rotate both ways round, but it can't do a 360. Though again, there is a bit of concern how much this is rubbing against the Sonic, which I think these scratches have happened when the Sonic Screwdriver has basically rubbed against its own box. So, yeah, not brilliant. So, we'll turn quickly to features. You can see there that the little crystal there pulsates, and that's every time the Sonic is used, and also when this rotates. It makes a little sound effect. I've just noticed there's another scratch here. As I've been filming, there's another scratch here. This is not turning out very well, is it? But yeah, there's another scratch just on there. So, to activate the lights and sound effects, it's this button here. That's an actual button, and pressing it once, we get the standard Sonic Screwdriver type sound effect. Though the pitch does seem to be toned up slightly higher, so it's got maybe an ever so slightly higher pitch. We've also got that power on and off type thing. And also because this has multiple sound effects, that is why there is a delay. So if we tap it twice, we have that sort of breaking down sound effect. But again, not quite the same as the others. It's got a slightly different sort of tone to it. You can see it's also got the lights and that on the back as well. Though I did notice the breaking down sound effect is quite quiet on this one. And if we press it 3 times, again we've got the sort of scanning sound effect, which again, it's quite quiet. Like, so this is the scanning sound, and this is the normal sound. But when you press the normal sound, it starts off quiet and then gets loud. Yeah, it's really weird, to be honest. We also get the crystal blinking as the sound effect stops for the third sound effect. I'm just going to see if there's any more on that one, but no. You can also pop out the little viewfinder here, which is nicely well detailed, and when pressing the Sonic Screwdriver, it lights up alongside it as well. Although I'd recommend not keeping this out because it's a bit wobbly and it's probably something that could easily snap off. There is a sound effect though when it is opened and closed. The last one, sound effect here. So this is the last sound effect. This is also where the batteries are changed. So if I take off this little panel here, which is not that easy to do, but once it's out there, you can see there's a little panel to where the battery cover is hidden. But again, this is a little bit difficult to do. Now let's get on to the hidden sound effects, which this is a pain in the arse. So you have to press this button 15 times, yes, 15 times, and hold down on the 15th time and then pull out the viewfinder. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3. You have to do it quicker than that, apparently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nope. You see the problem here? This is an Alderar decision. Having to do this 15 times and do it quick enough to actually count it. I'm going to have to do this off camera because basically I'm having to look at this through a viewfinder. So yeah, here we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. So on the 15th one, you pull out the viewfinder at the while holding down the button. You'll hear it beep a couple of times, and now we can see the crystal is now green lights, and it's not working. Okay, it's working when I hold it down. Why is this not working? Okay, so you have to hold it down. That's interesting. So now for some reason we have the Master's Laser sonic screwdriver sound effects. And you don't just have to press this button, no, you have to hold it down to get the laser effect. And by tapping it twice, we also get the sort of aging effect sound effect. My question is, why are these on here? Because it makes no sense. I know they're hidden sound effects, but wouldn't it be better to have the hidden sound effects, say, oh, I don't know, being the classic, you know, series sound effects or something like that, you know, or some older sonic screwdriver sound effects? Why these? I really don't get it. Why is that the case? But then, another problem I have with this, and it's the bloody price. This is 40 fucking quid. £40. And the thing is, the retail version is only going to be 25. And if the retail version is just basically, as far as I'm aware, and that the retail version will not have the hidden sound effects, though there's no reason it couldn't, because I imagine it will still use the same sound chip as this, just like 14's release. So why is this so expensive? Like, for a slightly, you know, a slightly nicer paint job. Like, honestly, it has, obviously, this year, I think Character Options Online have realised, let's just put that price, you know, as far as people are willing to pay for it. Let's just go as far as people are willing to pay for it, and see if they'll pay for it, and if they do, we'll keep charging 40 quid for each bloody thing. Because, yeah, this does not feel like 40 quid's worth. It honestly doesn't. If this was 30 or 35, you know, I'd say, yeah, it's a bit expensive, but, you know, you get all the bells and whistles and the nicer paint job and everything, but 40 quid! 40 quid for this thing! Like, it's honestly shocking how bloody expensive this thing is. Now, taking a look at the box, you can see it's a bit of an origami type mess here. But that's because this one, rather than having the two little twisty ties on it, and having a little bit of plastic behind it, this one has basically just a plastic bubble that the sonic screwdriver goes around, and these little pegs here go to the back of the box, like so. And basically the sonic screwdriver isn't affixed to this, it can actually slide about a little bit. You can see there's some instructions about operating the Sonic. and also information and that on the back about the batteries. But also, notice there's a little bit of an absence. Yeah, there's no information telling you about the hidden sounds. For God's sake, like, the thing is, it's a miracle people were able to figure this out. And also, let's just do it again. 1, 2, 3. Nah. That is not it. It's a miracle people were able to figure this out. Because this is, like, if it was, say, 5 times, okay, or something along those lines. Or just, you know, it could just be 3 times and do that. Like, just because it's the 15th Doctor doesn't mean the sonic screwdriver has to be a pain in the arse to change the sound effects on. There we go. Like, literally, I have to be quiet and count, literally, the bang, 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 bang in my head in order to basically register it. Because, honestly, this is just a pain in the arse. I do like this sonic screwdriver as a toy, don't get me wrong. I can see more scratches and that on it just now. I'm actually going to check the other one I got, because I did buy 2, one to open, one to keep boxed, but yeah, they might both end up going back to character if they're both scratched up. Because, yeah, if I'm paying £40 for it, I expect it, to be honest, doesn't matter how much I'm paying for it, I don't expect it to bloody be scratched up for the money. It does have nice features and that to it, but £40 is just ridiculous for this. And I'd say, if you're on the fence about this, wait for the retail release and basically see if you like that one and that, because this one, you know, this is for the people who are going to buy it anyway, who buy everything and that. And it is a little bit awkward to hold, to be honest, because it is quite flat and sharp on the bottom. It is a little bit awkward to hold because this side bit does dig into your hand and that a bit. It is not the most awkward thing to hold, even when we put it like this. It's still not the most ergonomic design. Obviously, that's not the toy's fault, that's basically the design of it. But, yeah, annoying feature aside, I do like it, but for most people, I can't recommend it for the price. For most people, the retail one will most likely be, you know, the one I'd recommend to people. But we'll see when I do eventually, you know, get one. I'm waiting for that, though, to actually, you know, show up in my local Forbidden Planet, because despite being a retail release, so far the only 2 retailers are the Who Shop and Forbidden Planet. Maybe Argos later down the line, but this, despite being, you know, nowhere on Character's website saying it's online exclusive, nowhere is stocking the Deluxe, so we can safely assume that the Deluxe is probably, you know, online exclusive to Character options. But anyway, that's it for this review. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.